What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports. This is episode 151. I didn't realize last week's episode was episode 150. Did that cross your mind at all as we were doing it?
For a split second whenever you said it, but it's like, okay.
I didn't notice it until I was uploading the episode. I was like, oh, this is episode 150. Probably should have had a little bit more of an announcement on that. But this is episode 151. Yeah, let's make this one the best yet. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm your host, Graham Powell on this screen, Bradley Brown the other in the baby blue hat. Don't know what it is, but I like it. Nice hat.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Brother Brown over here. So
I didn't do the say what's up, Brad. So I'm throwing curveballs at you today. Anyway, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor before we get going. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, what do we want to talk about? How about some Razorback football? We can start things
it
off with that.
might as
Uh,
well
an
talk
SEC.
about it while we can. So
Talk about what?
talk about it while we can.
Yes, SEC win for the Hogs. They are now 3-1 on the season. You can make a fair argument that they should be 4-0, but we're not going to get greedy. Let's just talk about the win at Auburn at Jordan-Hare. First of all, let's would you like to retract anything you said last week about Auburn's quarterback situation?
I mean, SEC defenses are different, man. But yeah, they both looked pretty bad. So
I guess, but Arkansas isn't known for their stellar defense or anything like that.
true.
Um, anyway, I was expecting a lot more from Hank Brown than what I saw. I saw made a couple of completions to start the game, and then They showed his quote about how he was looking forward to dominating Arkansas. And the freshman, goes out there and he throws 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, gets benched. I think before the first half was even over. Am I right on that? I can't recall.
I think he was benched at halftime.
Okay.
So
No, he was not. He did not play in the second half at all. They looked better to me. What was it? Peyton Thorne is the guy who came and replaced him, who was the starter last year, even, right? I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
yeah. He was a starter last year, but yeah, he came in and I guess did okay. He got off to a slow start, but I mean, he put up a touchdown at least, I guess.
Yeah, he looked like the clear better quarterback to me. I did not see anything special from Hank Brown that made me say this guy's better or should be the starter. Granted, that's the first time I've seen Auburn play this year. I do not watch Auburn outside of if they're playing Arkansas or a team that I like. Uh, but just from watching that game, I didn't see anything from Hank Brown that told me this guy should be the starter. He was terrible. He was terrible decision making. Um, I mean, just look at his stat line. That speaks for itself. The kid ate some humble pie, putting out a quote, not an egregious quote or anything like that, but you're still putting out bulletin board material as a freshman that hasn't done anything. And then you go out there and you play like that. If you're going to say things like that, saying that you look forward to dominating Arkansas, you need to back it up. And he got dominated by Arkansas. Maybe he just misspoke. Maybe he got misquoted. Maybe that's what he was really saying. He was looking forward to going out there and getting dominated by Arkansas. If so, then he nailed it. But either way, I wouldn't want the kid as my starting quarterback. Maybe he could be something later on, but I didn't see anything that would suggest that, hey, there's a bright spot here. I'd stick with Peyton Thorne if I'm Hugh Freeze. How about Hugh Freeze's his faces he made in the second half, yelling at officials? We'll talk about what he said yesterday. On top of that, about Arkansas, but what about the facial expressions? I ended up getting a pretty good kick out of that, just kind of watching Hugh Freeze on the sideline.
Yeah, he was putting on a show, all right, especially after the quote unquote suplex from our running back. Of course,
I didn't see anything. If I remember correctly, I didn't see anything there that was a penalty. Everything he was yelling about to me, he was incorrect. Hugh Freeze. I understand you're like lobbying the officials or whatever, but he was wrong. Everything that he argued. I didn't
yeah,
see everything I watched was like that's incorrect. What was the one what that he was arguing was a like it wasn't an interception? Is that what it was?
yeah. To close the end of the third or the first half, man, it looked to me like it hit the ground. I don't know. I was surprised that they ruled it a completion. So yeah,
I did not see it. I did not see it hit the ground. They were talking about like his like the ball moving, but also his hands were moving. He was turning like with the ball, and you got
yeah,
it. And at the it looked like it looked to be just completely objective about it. It looked like one of those calls that could go either way. I would have ruled it. I would have called it an interception, but also it was called an interception on the field, and there was nothing there on the video that could definitively overturn it. Like at the very least.
yeah.
So Hugh Freeze didn't make a single argument that he was in the right about. Just didn't. But on top of that, you come out with your your quote yesterday, I believe it was. Now he was saying like all due respect to Sam Pittman in Arkansas, that's a game that if we play 10 times, we win 9 of them. Auburn's not that good.
No,
Yeah, Auburn's not that good. You'll win some of them, sure.
yeah,
Really, it looked like to me, Arkansas and Auburn looked like two even teams, and Arkansas had a better playmaker at quarterback. That was the difference to me.
yeah. Well, I'm just glad somebody woke up and wanted to win the game because there for a while, nobody's playing like they wanted to.
Yeah, it was it was a great game as far as bad quarterback play goes. If you're a fan of bad quarterback play, that was the game for you. Hank Brown was as bad as can be for Auburn. Taylon Green wasn't. Now Taylon Green's legs made the difference. His ability to
Yes.
run is what opened things up in the passing game, and he made that one great throw to Satania in the second half. And really, it was a great catch by Satania. One, he got interfered with. It should have been pass interference, and just for him to come down with it was even better. So Taylon Green, he's a playmaker. That's the best way I can describe him. I wouldn't say he's a good quarterback. I would just say he's a playmaker. He is going to make plays for you, and he's going to do something every now and then that you're like, "Wow, what a play!" Whether it's with his legs or even his arm, and he made enough of those to make a difference in the outcome of the game. They benched him for a series, put in Malachi Singleton. Was that his name? The backup for Arkansas.
Believe so. They said he wasn't. They didn't bench him. They pulled him for cramps. Is what I read.
Yeah, I don't know that I buy that.
Yeah.
I understand. I took it as like kind of what the announcers were saying. Let's pull him for a series, calm him down, say, hey, get Petrino like, hey, this is what you're seeing. This is what we're looking at here. This is how we need to handle it. That's kind of how I saw it, or if anything, just see if your backup can give you a spark. And he didn't. That's a tough situation to go out there
Yeah.
and play in. He was probably trying to do a little bit too much, probably a little nervous. The freshman quarterback for Arkansas didn't look good in his 2 pass attempts or whatever it was. It was the right call to plug Taylor Green back in there. Maybe it was cramps. I don't necessarily buy that. Seems like some pretty convenient timing to get a cramp if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't mind you telling that to the media either, though. But going back to what Hugh Freeze says, saying that I don't know what kind of team he thinks he has, but that like you lost to Cal, you lost to Arkansas. It's not like you blew the game. I mean, yeah, you had a lot of turnovers, but it's not like your team was in control of the game. Uh, I mean, Arkansas was the better team Saturday, and you're not beating them 9 times out of 10 if you're Auburn. That's just not a very good football team. Are they capable of winning 6 games? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked at their schedule.
I
What
would
do you
say
think?
no, but after looking at their schedule,
Say I
I
haven't
would say,
looked at their schedule. I don't know. Um, I said after that game or during that game, I think I texted this to you. If Arkansas can somehow win this game, I think there's a very good chance that they can pull out 6 wins and get to a bowl game. And I think it'll be like that. You win a game that you're competitive with, maybe like an A&M, maybe even like an LSU, to where it's close, and then you just find a way to come away with it in the end. And then just take care of business against the teams you're supposed to beat, Mississippi State, Louisiana Tech. You do that, you just need one more win, and you got
yeah.
6. I think Arkansas is very capable of doing that. We'll see how it goes. Um, let's go back to Auburn. I've mentioned this plenty of times over the years. Auburn to me is just it's a program and fan base that thinks they're Alabama. They think they're on the same level as Alabama, and they're just not. They're closer to the level of Arkansas than they are to Alabama. Or if you want to say that they're kind of right in the middle of that, okay, maybe. Auburn to me is what they are. It's a program that is going to win 7 games like for 3 years and then have like a really good season, like a 10 to 12 win season and like national championship contender type of season. That's Auburn. And then you're going to go back to a 3 to 5 year stretch between seven, between like 7 and 9 wins. Does that sound about right?
Sounds about right. They're going to lose some. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't about to say they're just like Arkansas, but they can play down or up to their capabilities. So
Well, I thought Arkansas, at least talent wise, was even. I thought Auburn and Arkansas were even teams. I didn't see Auburn as a dominant team. Like I
no,
didn't see it as Arkansas sweep like they escaped with a victory. It looked like it looked like Arkansas and Auburn back when Nutt and Tuberville were the coaches. Like just even teams. Like Arkansas beat them at least half the time that Nutt was the coach. And that's kind of what I saw Saturday. It was 2 even teams. Taylor Green was a better playmaker than Auburn's quarterbacks, and that made the difference.
yeah,
You got some decent runs from Jaquindon Jackson. That was the difference. And it just goes back to Auburn just being delusional about what they are. I think anybody else objectively can look at it and say, I mean, yeah, this is what you are. You're a 7, 8 win program, and then every so often you're going to get that magical season, which I'd be happy with that. Auburn
yeah.
fans aren't because they see what Alabama does and they want that. Uh, if you're not careful though, I mean, you fired Gus Malzahn, who had like a 2-to-1 win ratio. I mean, look at his record at Auburn. I mean, it's pretty. It's good. It's a good record at Auburn. It didn't end well. I mean, but does it ever? But I mean, the overall record, you can't argue that. I've already. I haven't seen people freak out yet on Hugh Freeze, Auburn fans, that is. But I would just say be careful because you don't want to turn into Nebraska like 2.0. And by that, I mean, remember when Bo Pelini was winning 9 games a year in Nebraska and that wasn't good enough? And they fired him. And then look what happened to Nebraska since. And they are just now climbing out of that. It looks like Matt Rule finally has sparked something um, of some momentum there for Nebraska. A storied program that was down in the dumps for a while after Bo Pelini. I'm not saying Auburn's going to tank that hard, but if you're not careful, you know what I mean. Be
Yeah.
careful what you wish for. It could be a lot worse than. Look at Michigan too. When Lloyd Carr was there, people were upset with Lloyd Carr because he was getting in that 9-win season mode, and of course lost to Appalachian State. And he just had enough and retired. And then you drawing a blank. Who's the guy that they hired after him? Rich Rod. Rich Rod, right? West Virginia didn't go well. Uh, he gets fired, and for I don't even remember. I'm drawing a blank here. I don't even remember who the guy is who replaced him. But yeah, it didn't work there. And then you get Harbaugh, and it took him a while to get it out of the dumps. So careful what you wish for, Auburn. That's all I'm going to say. Who does Arkansas have Saturday?
A&M out in Jerry World.
Of course. Yeah, Brady Hoke. That's who it was. That was driving me nuts. Who replaced Rich Rodriguez at Michigan? I was like, that's going to drive me nuts the rest of the show. Brady Hoke replaced him, and then got replaced for Harbaugh. All right. Okay, score prediction: Arkansas, Texas A&M Saturday. Who do we have, and what's the score going to be? You go first, Brad.
Uh, I I don't know. A&M, they're ranked, but they hadn't really showed me anything too special. I mean, their defense is all right, but uh, their offense, man, their quarterback struggles pretty much most of the time. So I still don't think Arkansas is going to. Let's say it's going to be some points scored, more points than Auburn, I would say, but we'll do 35-28 A&M.
That's fair. I mean, they're ranked, right? What are they, like 20 something?
23, 24.
I assume they're 3-1. Uh,
Yeah.
who was it they lost to?
Was it Notre Dame or no?
Yes, it was Notre Dame. I
Yeah.
was going to say I watched the game. I can't recall who it was. Then Notre Dame turned around and lost to Northern Illinois a week later. So
Yeah. Talk about
short.
a bad offensive game. That game stunk.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just saw the results. To me, really, this is kind of a toss-up game. I really wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas beats them. Um, but I'm still not going to pick them to do it. Arkansas has not done well in that stadium since Petrino was the head coach. Petrino is on the sideline for the Razorbacks, though. That obviously gives them an edge. I'm still going to go Texas A&M. I will say I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 31-28 Aggies. Hope I'm wrong, obviously, but
They've been pretty close over the years. So
They have, even when Arkansas hasn't been very good. They found a way to keep it close. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here next week though and talking about Arkansas beating them. So
And I hope we are. It all depends on how green is, how accurate he is that day.
yeah. And if the defense plays as well as they did or close to that, then I mean the Hogs should be in good shape.
Yeah.
All right. So I did see touching back on some Arkansas football. Arkansas State played Iowa. Was it Iowa State? Did you see that score?
I did.
I mean, just
Yeah, it
got
was a little
absolutely
yeah.
rolled.
Got
Yeah,
throttled. I was a little
Cyclones.
shocked to see it was a blowout.
I don't know if I was shocked. Uh, I think it just shows that Michigan isn't. I mean, we knew Michigan wasn't going to be as good, but I really don't think they're as good as they were a year ago. And yeah, it looked like they ran into a pretty decent team. I mean, not to knock Arkansas State, they shouldn't be beating a Power Five program or whatever it is now as far as conferences. Power Three at this point, I think. But either way, I just wanted to point that out. I saw that score and I was like, oh wow. Ran into a bit of a cyclone buzzsaw there. Arkansas State did. Okay, other big games from Saturday. Was on the
Wow.
road for a large chunk of it. So, okay, obviously, the Colorado Baylor game, didn't see the game, had company Saturday night. So, and they don't like football. So I had to watch something else and missed a really good game, unfortunately, from what it looked like. Hail Mary that took things to overtime. Colorado wins it. I believe they're 3-1 now. Still don't think the Buffs can get to 6 wins, Brad.
Yes. I don't
Yes,
think they'll get there. Yeah.
you don't
I don't
think
think
they're
they'll
gonna.
be bowl eligible. No.
Wow, they're 3-1, right?
Yeah, 3-1.
And you think they're just gonna lose the pretty much just win two the rest of the way?
And about the same thing happened last year when
Yeah,
they like were 2-1 and then fizzled out pretty quick.
yeah, but they're better. They are better this year. I think that is kind of clear. I don't think they're significantly better, but I do think they're better. And they play in a weak conference. I mean, the Big 12 is not what it was with Texas and Oklahoma. Like you're in a Big 12 league without Texas and Oklahoma. So I think they can get 6 and then probably get rolled in the bowl game that they go to. But I do think they can get bowl eligible. Absolutely. And Shador and Travis Hunter, I mean, are fun to watch. I'd
Yeah.
tune in just to watch Travis Hunter. But Shador is going to be a first round pick, and he'll be the number 1 or 2 quarterback taken. I mean, the guy can play. So it's worth checking out. Uh,
Dion's done said there may be a Eli situation on draft day. It's like, man, stick what you get.
I don't know. It worked for Eli.
It
Worked
did.
for Eli. Worked for Elway. So I mean, he wouldn't be the first to ever do that. I'm gonna say, 2 guys that ended up having. I mean, Eli's going to get in the Hall of Fame. So 2 guys that had Hall of Fame careers, Eli and Elway, worked for them. Who would have the number 1 pick now? I don't, or who's considered the worst team right now? I know it's too early to tell, but
Well, it started to look like Carolina, but I don't know. They won over the weekend, didn't they?
yeah, I would say, is it? I mean, the Red Rifle came in and
Lit them up.
yeah, it made it look like okay, Bryce Young is the problem.
Yeah,
It's not Carolina. So
he might be the problem.
possibly. Depends on who's got that number 1 pick, I would say. And I would just say do what you think is best. If you want to go that route, like I said, it worked out for the other 2 guys who did that. That's not a guarantee it'll work out for Shador, but you know, um, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's touch up on a little NFL football. Or am I missing anything else? I didn't watch a lot of I just watched the Razorback game Saturday. I had to come back from Fort Smith Saturday morning, got home in time for the Razorback game. Like I said, didn't see much football after that until Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, so did you even watch the Missouri Vanderbilt game?
I did watch that. I did watch the end of
Vandy
that.
had them. Vandy had them.
Yeah.
Just let them go.
Diego Pavia, a very fun name to say. It's another one of those fun names to say. And of course I was rooting for Vandy to get the win there, the upset win.
Yeah.
But Missouri pulled it out. They squeaked by at home. So I don't know. Eli Drinkowitz and company live to be a little cocky and arrogant another week. But they're not as good. I mean, they're not going to keep squeaking by. I mean, they're not going to be top 10 in a month. We're getting into SEC play now. Ole Miss is finally going to play a conference opponent. They got through their high school schedule, beating. Well, they did play FCS Corned Beef Tech on Saturday and got through that pretty easily. I saw a goofy stat line that the SEC Network put out talking about a graphic about Ole Miss outscoring their opponents, something like 163 to like 9 or something ridiculous. And we're like, yeah, look at who they played. Played like Furman and Central Arkansas Christian and Bigelow High School. I'm making
Who
the
are they
last
playing this weekend? Was it Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Okay.
So finally getting into, but you look at their schedule, they have a very easy schedule for SEC play. I don't think they play Texas. I don't think they play Alabama. They don't have to deal with Georgia. They got,
They have to play Georgia.
they do.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now.
Okay, but they don't have Alabama or Texas, do they?
No.
Yeah. So you're getting a little bit of that Alabama treatment that we've gotten during the Saban years, to where the SEC coddles them, takes care of them, makes sure that they have a very winnable schedule to represent the conference in the postseason. But here's the thing: I mean, 4 teams at least are going to get into the postseason now, and by that I mean the 12-team playoff from the SEC. I don't think 5 will get in, but I do think 4 will get in.
As of
Hard to
right
say.
now, they have 6 of the top 10 ranked.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Not looking at it, but just off the top of my head, what Georgia, Alabama, Missouri, Ole Miss. Who else? LSU. I assume.
Well, I'm saying the top 10.
That's what I'm saying. What are they? Are they not top 10?
No.
Are you looking it up, or we just?
I just got through looking at their schedule. Yeah, they're so yeah. I'm not looking anymore.
Okay, well, we can look it up real quick. It's not that important, but why not? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Texas. So yeah, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss. So 5. 5 of the top 10 are SEC members. Texas being number 1. Arch Manning got his first start. Threw a couple touchdowns, threw a couple picks, played like a freshman at times, but made some plays from what I saw. So good on him. Texas should still be the outright number 1 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
For now, but it doesn't matter right now. All right, let's touch up on a little pro football before we get out of here. Okay. Chiefs squeaked by. I mean, the Chiefs just find a way. The Chiefs just find a way to win. Won last night, and I'm already drawing a blank again on who they play. Who did they play? We're very prepared for this show, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. They played shit. The Falcons.
They played shit, huh? Okay. Um, yeah, and the Falcons probably should have won, right? They pass interference that didn't get called. Now it was nothing egregious. The pass interference, it was kind of a bang bang play, but it was pass interference on Kansas City. It should have been called. Atlanta should have had the ball at the 1, and they could have ran it in with Bijan Robinson or the Tyler Algier the next play. Falcons probably should have won that game, but they didn't. Chiefs squeaked by. I mean, the Falcons did have another chance, and it just Chiefs found a way to get it done. So Kansas City just keeps winning.
Yeah, they get it done without really using Travis Kelce. So
I think we just kind of it's kind of just my understanding that Rashee Rice has kind of taken over that role. He's kind of become that go-to guy, and Kelsey's just in a lesser role now. That's how I see it. And I mean, it's working. It's working for them. I mean, they're not dominating. They're not dominating like Buffalo is dominating right now, but they are winning. It doesn't matter. They're 3-0 at the end of the day. So who cares? All that matters right now is that you're 3-0. But Buffalo, after 3 weeks, and the season's not decided after a month. Right now, looks like the best team.
they look pretty good. So Allen
And
looks like he did, in years past. So he's running the ball pretty good, scoring a lot of points.
this has kind of been the trend though with Buffalo, though, right? The last couple
Yeah.
of years, they've looked like the best team in the league at the start of the season, and then they just kind of flounder down the stretch and just kind of blow it in the playoffs. That's how it's been the last couple of years. But I mean, look at how the Texans did this past week. I saw not very many points scored. They take an L, but Diggs had a stat line. I think this is kind of like Kansas City and Tyreek Hill. Like when Tyreek left, they win the next 2 Super Bowls. I think Buffalo got better when Stefon Diggs left. Josh Allen doesn't have somebody yelling at him on the sideline anymore. He can just feed the ball to whoever's open. He, just take what the defenses give him, and it's made him better. Josh Allen. It takes pressure off. I think the Bills have only gotten better without Stefon Diggs. And I was worried about CJ Stroud when the Texans made that move. And it looked good last week and so far, but obviously didn't this week. How about Sam Darnold though in Minnesota? The Vikings 3-0.
Yeah. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, it took him 7 years to figure it out, but Sam Darnold has finally figured out how to play quarterback in the NFL. It looks like he's finally looking like the guy that we thought he would, or that many thought he would, uh, when he was taken in the first round. What 7 years ago? I guess it was.
Yeah.
So
A long
Vikings
time ago.
3-0. Say what?
Said it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty wild. I purposely when I had the number one pick in my fantasy football draft, but I didn't even think about drafting Justin Jefferson. I was like, oh no, Cousins is gone. Uh, what's his face? The guy that they drafted. God, I'm drawing all kinds of blanks on this episode. Sorry everyone for that. Michigan quarterback, national champion. You're not helping me out either. You're not. Brad
Yeah.
isn't throwing me any life vest here.
Knife put me on the spot. Oh, I can see in my head
I gotta look it
drawing,
up.
drawing a blank on the name.
Well, now I gotta look it up. I'm gonna see the name. It's gonna hit me right away, and it's not showing up because he's not even on the depth chart. JJ McCarthy. There we go. I wouldn't have
Good
guessed that
job.
in a million years. But I've also not heard his name in a month either. So
True.
there's that. So I'm gonna use that excuse. But I thought no JJ McCarthy, no Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson's going to be a non-factor. Now, Sam Darnold has thrown darts and thrown bombs and looked good in the process. Vikings look good. Their defense looks good. I made it a point to put in uh, a waiver wire addition to get the Vikings defense just to plug on my bench, just because I mean they've been that good, and the Cowboys have stunk the last 2 weeks. So there's that too.
Scored a whole lot of points of that first week, though.
Yeah, no, they look great the first week, but the last two they've stunk it up. I took my first L in fantasy football, lost by a good 30 points, 30, 40 points. No one's looked really good. I mean, I got Mahomes at quarterback, but he's not lighting it up numbers wise. There haven't been a lot of touchdown passes. They haven't been throwing a lot of touchdowns the first few weeks of the season. And I don't really understand it. It's I don't know if it's practices aren't as they don't have them as often, or as it's not the same as it was in years past. I don't know if it's that, because I mean the rules have been catered kind of for the offense, and yeah, we're not seeing touchdown passes. Kind of weird, right?
Yeah, a little weird. I mean, I'd say the stock for the running backs is went up a little bit over the first couple of weeks. They seem to be scoring more points, more than wide receivers. So it's kind of weird. We need more touchdown passes, as Graham
Yes,
said.
Saquon Barkley's having a bit of a resurgence in Philly, so good for him.
Yeah, he looks decent, don't he?
Yes, and I'm not surprised by that. That doesn't surprise me. Okay, we'll get out of here on this. WNBA playoffs are happening. By the way, Caitlin Clark, the unanimous Rookie of the Year selection, Asia Wilson, the unanimous MVP selection. Both good picks as far as I'm concerned. Did you see? I haven't seen any of the game. I didn't even see the Fever play the Connecticut Sun because the Sun kind of dominated them in the regular season. I just think it's a 3-6. Connecticut Sun should beat them. Of course, the story was the eye gouging. Dejanay's Carrington. Um, I'm playing with her name a little bit, just with all the condiments in the name. Uh, didn't look intentional live, but then you see the replay, it's like, yeah, it looked pretty intentional to me. But I don't know why they let them wear those 2-inch long fingernails. That's something
I
they need
know.
to outlaw, but they won't. The league won't. They won't protect their moneymaker. And Fever just need to get an enforcer to help Caitlin Clark. And that's all I'll say about that. I'm getting tired of these uh jealous petty chicks in the WNBA. It's just getting tiresome to watch. But I guess we'll get out of here on that. But we'll be back with more football and stuff next week. And until then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brown.
Deuce y'all.
Peace.